So it is interesting, Joan, just real quick.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about James Comey and how he is quite possibly about to be arrested. But I can't seem to get a handle on, some people are saying it's for lying to Congress. And so they're talking about presenting information to a grand jury, that whole thing.
Right.
But one of the things that I find interesting is that you have some of these folks saying, well, this is a clear example of Donald Trump going after his political enemies.
Yes.
Well, here's my question. I think it actually says something if Donald Trump's political enemies were breaking the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it Donald Trump, and I'm going to air quote, going after his political enemies, or is it the Trump administration trying to hold some accountability in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
So if James Comey either lied to Congress or did something illegal, then he should be held accountable. I'm just trying to figure out exactly why it is that that they want to arrest him. I've sent Sam on the case.
And so, according New York Post has it, apparently the 5-year statute of limitation on bringing perjury charges would be next Tuesday.
Okay,
but
perjury.
Prosecutors are expected to seek the grand jury indictment before then, those familiar with the case said. So the extent of charges Comey could face, as well as part of his testimony that has been under scrutiny, wasn't immediately clear. So I imagine what they're trying to do is they're trying to get him on perjury.
Right.
And that can open the avenue, not necessarily to criminal charges against him related to Russiagate, unless you can track it and, get the statute of limitations to extend on that seditious conspiracy charge.
Right.
So I think that's part of it.
But remember, part of what they've been saying is that the conspiracy regarding Russiagate actually continues. This is what they're saying, is that the conspiracy against Trump regarding Russiagate, there is no statute of limitations that is about to run out because the conspiracy continues to this day. So there is that aspect of it, too. By the way, one of the sources saying that prosecutors within the Eastern District of Virginia have presented new U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan with a memo explaining why charges should not be filed.
Right.
Saying the case lacked evidence to show probable cause that a crime was committed. So they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I was watching MSNBC yesterday.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
What is wrong with you?
Well, I like to get the full spectrum of what is being said about these things. And so I sat on my bed looking at the TV, mouth agape, because there were it was what's her name? Katie Tur.
Mm-hmm.
And she had two women on, couldn't tell you who they were, but they were both just so involved with, no one's ever going to want to be in government service again, because once you serve in government, then you're going to get indicted by the next government that comes along. Nobody cares about how much money this person has to spend defending themselves. Even if they do end up being exonerated, the damage has already been done. And all I could think about was, what did you do to Donald Trump for years?
That is exactly right.
They had no clue. Like it never entered their minds that they were talking dumb. I just couldn't even believe it.
Well, and they threw Steve Bannon in jail.
Right.
I mean, who's the other one? So Steve Bannon was tossed in jail. They tried to go after Trump, obviously, on many different fronts. Who was the other guy? Stone?
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. They threw him in jail.
Yeah. How about, what's his name? Peter Navarro?
Peter Navarro
jailed.
Another one. So, they are, well, the self-awareness, the lack of self-awareness of these
terrible.
folks.
I couldn't even believe what I was seeing. And that's why you don't watch MSNBC.
But see, here's the deal, though, is that, again, they're trying to position this as Trump going after his political enemies.
Yeah.
Well, if the former FBI director did commit perjury, well, regardless as to whether or not he is a political enemy of Donald Trump or if he's just a former FBI director that lied under oath, all right, well, then because he's a political enemy of Donald Trump, is he supposed to then get off scot-free?
Right.
If they can prove that he lied under oath, then you've got to suffer the consequences or the ramifications. You got to take responsibility for those actions. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know if he did lie under oath. People are trying to figure it out, but this is, one of those stories that definitely we don't know the full story yet. We don't know exactly what they're talking about because James Comey, he's had a lot of testimony. Now, remember, it's John Brennan who said, "Oh yeah, we did not use the dirty dossier to come up with that," and I'm having to wipe the cobwebs from my memory. "We did not use the dirty dossier to change that intelligence assessment," when in reality they did. And they have him dead to rights lying. But, okay, so then why hasn't he been charged yet? He hasn't been charged, and they've got that on video. I mean, it's clear that he was lying. So, again, they need to go after these people. And I don't believe that there is a statute of limitations in this case, in the James Comey case, if it is related to the Russiagate situation. Same with John Brennan. Same with, anybody else who was involved in that. You had, go ahead, Joan.
They're also taking aim at, I think her name is Lindsay Halligan.
Yeah.
Because she was Trump's former personal attorney, one of his personal attorneys that he handpicked to put in that spot. And asked for, he said, if there's indictments that need to be brought, let's bring them.
Right.
So they're going after her because she's a personal attorney. She's never been a prosecutor. How could they possibly think of her as a prosecutor?
What's crazy, though, about the Department of Justice and all that? They've got a lot of prosecutors.
They do.
So she herself could very easily, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
She herself could very easily assign a top prosecutor.
Right.
If she so chose. All right, it is 7:15. We have a bit of a controversy going on in Sumner County. Have you heard about this? So there was a school that wanted to name the road leading up to said school after Charlie Kirk. And Sumner County also wants to have a day of remembrance of Charlie Kirk. They want to call it a day of peaceful discourse. Now, the Daily Dan poll, Joan, I don't know if you've seen it today. The Daily Dan poll.
I took the Daily Dan poll.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I actually have not done it yet. But how did we exactly word producer Sam, the Daily Dan poll?
Does Charlie Kirk deserve a national day of remembrance?
Okay. Now, I believe that he does. Mm-hmm. Joan?
Yeah.
All right. And Sam?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, here's the other part of the question. Should Sumner County Schools and other counties across Middle Tennessee, should they honor Charlie Kirk by having his birthday and the day of remembrance of October 14th? Should they designate that as a day of peaceful discourse? Mm-hmm. Because that's what Sumner County is trying to do. Here's what's crazy. Isn't that what Debate Club is? Like, why in the world is... Why is this a big deal?
Yeah, yes and no. That doesn't necessarily focus entirely on political or social issues, but I would argue Model UN, the same thing. That's on an international scale of learning how to have open discussion and discourse. But I think with Charlie, you're practicing that stuff. The Debate Club, you get a topic, and you're going to have to learn one side or the other. I think this needs to be more of bring what you believe to the table, not what your instructor is telling you to debate on. I
was never in debate club, so I don't know how it works. But I think it makes all the sense in the world to teach kids how to have peaceful discourse. So there's two things. There is the road. They wanted to change the road going up to the new high school there. They wanted to name that road after Charlie Kirk. You've got a Sumner County commissioner. His name is Jerry Mansfield. He does want to rename that road leading to Liberty High School after Charlie Kirk. Right now, it's called, I guess, Wolfpack Way, after the team mascot, of course. And this was his reasoning.
The meaning for me on a school campus was because of what he represented, his ideals, and what he fought for students, and engaged civic discourse and that impact with students on school campuses. And so I thought, what better way?
But not everyone sees it the same way.
Nope.
Our mascot, our identity, it's all about creating a wonderful environment for the kids. It's not about Charlie, and it's dragging, our kids into a divisive national issue.
Liberty.
All right, so that is...
Why do they always have those glasses?
That is Tara Pierges, who is a concerned parent, and this is the principal for this Liberty High School, and it's a newer school.
Jeremy,
High school principal Dr. Philip Holt says he first heard about the proposal from upset parents, and he doesn't want to see the current street name go either.
Well, it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. It has everything to do with just the school pride and the community that we've built. We're a relatively new school. This is just our 4th year. So the little bit of tradition and history that we do have, we really try to cling to. And Wolfpack Way is one of those things.
Then last night,
See, I kind of get that. I'm going to be honest. I kind of get that. I would like to see a street named after Charlie Kirk. But here's the deal. We have streets named after MLK, Barack Obama, John Lewis. Here in Nashville, did you know there's a Bill Clinton Way?
What?
There's a Bill Clinton Way in Nashville somewhere.
Is there a Lewinsky Avenue off there?
So the question is,
that would be a cul-de-sac. Sorry.
So the question is Charlie Kirk worthy of having streets named after him? Now you've got MLK, civil rights leader, not a politician. There are many people who would say that there are correlations, big correlations, between MLK and Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. And if there's streets named after MLK, then why not have streets named after Charlie Kirk? That is fair. Obama, politician. John Lewis, politician. Of course, Bill Clinton. We all know that. So to me, it does seem like there absolutely should be streets named after Charlie Kirk.
And schools. There's multiple Martin Luther King Jr. schools around the country as well as streets.
Yep.
And I'd like to point out to Liberty Creek on the rich history of the Wolfpack name. There are no wild wolves in the state of Tennessee. Just so we're clear.
The name of my school mascot was a Lancer, and as far as I knew, there were no Lancers in Covina, California. Or the state of California.
No Mustangs in South Jersey.
Maybe at one time.
Okay.
Way back.
All right. So for me, I mean, I hate to say it, some of y'all are going to get mad at me. I do believe that there should be streets named after Charlie Kirk. I'm all for that. I get the school's point, though, where we've only been around 4 years. And we are trying to build a brand with the, Wolf Pack, whatever it is. So they want to leave the street going up to the school. They want to leave it as Wolf Pack Way. I get that. That being said, where could we have a street named after Charlie Kirk? I think that there should be one. I just don't know where. So then also in Sumner County, they do want to designate as the 14th of October as Charlie Kirk Day of Peaceful Discourse. This is part of the discussion from Channel 4.
The Sumner County School Board unanimously passed a resolution declaring October 14th as Charlie Kirk Day of Peaceful Discourse, where students will, quote, reflect on the unalienable rights given to each American in the Bill of Rights and how we can all work together to live out and celebrate our shared American values. As far as what that looks like in practice, board member Andy Lacey, who brought the resolution, told me it does not require any action in the classroom. We asked the Sumner County School District how they plan to commemorate the day in schools. We have not heard back. In Sumner County,
So I'm sure that there's some lefty parents out there that are like, oh, no way, we can't have a day of peaceful discourse. You know what I mean? Lord help us have a day devoted to peaceful discourse, which is exactly what Charlie Kirk was all about. But I think that there's so much politics involved in the situation with Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of misinformation about who Charlie Kirk was. And that misinformation has been spread, of course, by people on the left. So in Sumner County, I'm sure that, hey, take the phones off hold, would you? If you're in Sumner County, I would love to know what you think of this. Because I think that schools absolutely should have a day of peaceful discourse devoted to Charlie Kirk. Now, what that means and what that is, I don't know. But it seems to make all the sense in the world if we're going to teach our kids how to debate. Do you remember the whole thing, Joan, What was it called? News. You and I spoke about it a while back, Sam. What was it called? News what? Where they were teaching kids how to dissect news?
Oh.
Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
News literacy.
Media literacy.
News or media literacy.
Yeah, there you go.
So if we're teaching news and media literacy, well then why don't we teach the art of peaceful discourse in high school? And why shouldn't we do this you know what? Let's get the state legislature on the phone. Let's have them designate one day in the state of Tennessee as Charlie Kirk Day of Peaceful Discourse. Somebody get Jack Johnson on the phone. Cameron Sexton. Let's go. Governor Lee, come on, man. Do it.
You're not expecting Governor Lee to do something, are you?
No, I'm sorry I got carried away.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
the man's just trying to get to the end of his term.
Yeah.
But I think that is a great idea. If you want to comment on this, you can. 615-737-9986. WSMV, Sumner County parents push back on Charlie Kirk Day of Peaceful Discourse and also naming a road leading up to Liberty High School as, Charlie Kirk Way or Charlie Kirk Drive or something. They want to leave it as the name of their mascot, which is Wolf Pack Way or something. But you know what? It is interesting, Joan, just thinking about this. If you're recovered from that 90-second traffic report.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's
so
all right.
much going on.
The left is always saying that you've got to turn down the heat, right? You got to just take a step back and all that kind of stuff. Well, then you would think that the left would be all about a National Day of Civil Discourse and name it after Charlie Kirk. Because that's what Charlie Kirk stood for, is civil discourse. So why wouldn't the left be all about, oh, yeah, you know what? Sure, let's have a National Day of Civil Discourse. Now, maybe their problem...
Because you said Charlie Kirk.
Right. That's what I was going to say, because they want to name it after Charlie Kirk. But if anybody cares to do a deep dive into Charlie Kirk, they'll realize that, yes, I need some audio. Yes, he was for civil discourse. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And by the way, Joan,
The effect is.
I hate to tell you this, but
The effect is.
But I'm talking to me. So apparently there is no Bill Clinton way in Nashville.
The effect is.
So I'm fake news.
You're fake news.
The effect is.
Yep. I Googled it earlier, and there was a Bill Clinton way. It said on the screen that there is a Bill Clinton way here in Nashville somewhere.
The effect is.
But apparently it's not after Bill Clinton. It's after some other Clintons.
Yeah, early settlers and property owners of the area.
The effect is.
So there you go.
You got that pretty wrong. Like pretty wrong.
That was spectacularly wrong.
Yes.
The effect is.
You know, I've done nothing right today, but what I've gotten wrong, I've done it right. Like really, really well. I was wrong. I was really right at being wrong.
At least we haven't named a street after a member of a terrorist organization.
The effect is.
So anyway, wait what?
Yeah, the street in was it Minnesota or Michigan? The
Yeah.
one where that citizen came up and asked the mayor about why did you name a street after a known terrorist, and he told him to get out. I can't. The day you leave this city, we'll throw a parade.
Yeah, I remember that kind of, sort of.
Yeah,
but
literal terrorist is got a street named for him in the United States.
What was Phil Valentine? Remember Phil Valentine was in a movie, and I forget the name of the movie. I forget everything about the movie, but I think Phil had one line. Wasn't the one line, oh, you people on the super text line, help me. We've lost Minnesota. I think that's what Phil Valentine's one line was.
Oh, really?
We've lost or we're losing Minnesota or something. I seem to recall that because I used to have it and I'd play it every once in a while. But now that we truly have lost Minnesota. So anyway, yeah. Ricky says, well, Dan, yeah, you're actually right about being wrong.
The effect is.
Thank you, Ricky. Eric is in Gallatin on Super Talk 99.7. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Hey, good morning.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to say about that. There's a couple of layers. One thing is this is something that, adults and parents should be teaching their kids at home. Unfortunately, they're not all doing it. So, all these kids growing up are starving to understand these kind of things better. And, even the parents that are teaching it at home, you want something reinforced at school as well. It's just like, we got upset because schools will no longer reinforce discipline as much as they used to because they needed to do that. I think this is kind of getting back in the same direction of schools enforcing what, kids need to be taught at home as well.
Well, I will just say that I think the schools, just as if they're going to talk about media literacy and media and news literacy, well, then it does seem like they should also have a National Day of Civil Discourse. That actually does make a lot of sense. Go ahead with your next point.
Also, I graduated in '94, and in the turn of the '90s, when I was in high school, and it was mandatory. You have at least one course of a foreign language. You made a comment earlier. I think it's you that made the comment that, hey, look, what if we had a class? Why don't we make that kind of thing mandatory instead of worrying about foreign languages? Let that be an option. If you want to learn that, that's fine. But this is much more priority than a foreign language.
Civil discourse would be?
Yeah, talking about peaceful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I very much agree. You're right. I don't know. I took 3 years of Spanish, Joan. You know what I can say? Nada. Or yo no sé, which is I don't know in Spanish. That's all I know.
Joan salida out of her corner.
She had to go down the hall to the El Bathrumo.
El Baños.
El Baños. This is Rebecca on WTN. Hello, Rebecca.
Hola.
There you go. That's another one I know. 3 years of Spanish. That's what I got.
I'm from California, so I know enough Spanish just to be dangerous.
Yes, you and me both.
I lived in Sumner County for 4 years, and as the news report said, as the board probably hasn't answered, because we have a very left-leaning board here that would be everything against Charlie Kirk.
Here's what I don't understand is if Sumner County, there are a lot of conservatives in Sumner County. How do they get a liberal school board? And I don't know if that's true or not. I'm taking your word for it.
If you look at the data, Sumner County was 90th in the state of Tennessee for voting for Trump.
Okay. Fair. There's a reason I didn't move to Sumner County.
As people think.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. But a lot of people call themselves Republican. We have a very liberal PAC that controls the GOP and the school board here. So
I remember I remember this, and Rebecca, appreciate it. I always like to hear from California expats as well. But I remember there was a whole thing a while ago about the battle that was going on between Sumner County Republicans. It was really interesting. That was a couple of years ago. Maybe that is still taking place. And that is taking place all across the country where you have some Republicans who are considered more conservative than others. And of course, we have our own battle amongst 7th Congressional District folks wanting to run for the 7th to replace Mark Green. And so, and that is getting really nasty, like really, really nasty. People have been talking about the ads that have been mentioning Charlie Kirk and the woman that was killed on the train in Charlotte as well. Really just ugly. And I'm going to be honest, and I don't remember who did what, but I do feel like invoking the names of recently murdered people, little icky in a political ad. That's all I'm going to say about that. Real quick, Brian's in Sumner County. Brian, go ahead real quick.
Hey, Dan. Hey, I have a daughter that just graduated at Liberty Creek, or this past year.
Yes.
And I fully support renaming a road in Charlie Kirk's memory. Mm-hmm. Probably not this one. The reason being is this road that's leading to this school is tucked away off main roads, so no one's ever going to see it. A very small group of people will ever drive on that road.
Right.
So let's find a road that actually people will drive on, or most people will drive on, and have to remember his name.
That's a great point. That, you know what, Brian, that is a great point. We should find, if we're going to do this, let's do it right. And let's find a major street in probably, Wilson County. Wilson County, we are very Republican in Wilson County. So maybe there's a street that we can find to name after Charlie Kirk. Because I do believe, and Brian, I appreciate the call, I do believe that he does deserve that honor. I really do. By the way, you can stop texting now. It was Atlas Shrugged. And apparently the line was, I'll see if I can find it.
We've dropped Minnesota.
We've dropped Minnesota. I'd like to drop Minnesota. I mean, let's be honest. They're represented, at least part of Minnesota is represented by Ilhan Omar. And that district is just, I'm just going to tell you, it's a hellhole. So, yeah, I'd like to drop Minnesota. Can we drop Minnesota? Maybe just on this show. We're dropping Minnesota. For whatever reason, Joan, I cannot get it right.
Well, you got my name right today, so I'm thinking you're on it today.
No, Joan, I'm not on it.
You're fake news.
I'm fake news. That's what I am.
You're fake news.
Atlas Shrugged. I never saw Atlas Shrugged.
Did you read the book?
No.
First
Nothing.
of all, the book is the movie doesn't do it justice.
Really?
The book is amazing, and every American needs to read this book, especially every person that lives in New York City that thinks they're going to vote for Mamdani. It is insane what they're expecting from these people.
If Mamdani wins in New York, I'm just here to tell you that will be a blessing for conservatives.
Every single major business that wants to keep functioning the way they have been is going to move out.
Yeah.
And
you know what? They need to.
Yeah.
It's like people are talking about New York and people are talking about California. I forget what the big story was out of California the last couple of days. But I'm at the point, man, just let it burn. Let it burn.
Yeah.
If this is what the jackholes in New York want, if they want a freaking communist out there, let them have it.
We're dropping Minnesota.
There it is. We're dropping Minnesota. Play it one more time. Turn it up. Pot it up.
I got to back it up.
Oh, Lord.
Well, because it's the Nashville Theater reacting to it.
We're dropping Minnesota.
We don't want their clapping in the background.
Got it. Okay, very good. Phil used to joke all the time about how they gave them all of one line. I guess what it was, they had a bunch of talk show hosts in one scene, and I don't know who else was in there, but Phil was in there, and I guess some others as well. So anyway, Atlas Shrugged. And yeah, if New York ends up voting for Mamdani, and I haven't seen any recent polls, but it sounds like he's going to win. New York is going to vote into office an actual communist or socialist, whatever it is that you want to call him. But his ideas have all been proven losers.
Yeah.
State-run or city-run grocery stores, that has been a proven loser. Defunding the police, that has been a proven loser. Raise the rents on some folks and lower the rents for other people, rent-controlled. You're going to raise the taxes on rich folks. I don't know how rich. I don't know what the line is.
City-run grocery stores.
I mentioned that, Joan. City-run grocery stores.
Removing the NYPD's gang list. He wants to get rid of that, the database that has all of the gangs.
Let me guess, because it's racist?
Of course.
Probably.
That's what they'll say. It's racist, but the reality is that they want to keep crime going. So, yeah, if they want to do this and they want to raise taxes on, the businesses and the people that make more money than others in New York, that's going to be a major exodus. I'm all for it. See, that's the thing. You got conservatives and Republicans that are all, gnashing their teeth over this. I get it, but I think that this would be a great example of what happens when you allow Democrat rule to that degree where it ultimately ends up in communism.
Yeah.
Okay, so see how it works out for you.
Well, and the beauty of capitalism is it's going to reshape an infrastructure in a good way. We've seen it with California where it's too expensive to make a show or a movie in California. So what do? Now that industry has picked up and moved eastward into Atlanta, and we've got more jobs and opportunities on the east side of the country for that kind of stuff.
Or Canada. A lot of films are now produced in Canada.
They've been doing that.
So Canada was because of the unions way back when. Canada was because of the unions. And now you've got, not only in California, you've got the unions, you've got all of the regulations as well. And I think there was at one point they were making a studio in, I want to say Hendersonville. I don't know whatever happened to that, but it was big news on for like a week, where they were building a movie studio in Hendersonville. I don't know whatever happened to that. But, I mean, look, we got all kinds of stars that are moving to Nashville and moving to Tennessee. I'd be willing to bet that we could have a thriving movie industry if we wanted to. I mean, we're getting in and out, Joan. So I'm just saying. You're going to get people that are screaming about, oh, we don't want too much California here. I get it. We already have a morning show that is fake news. So, whatever.